Did you see the Kanye West Wall Street Journal thing? The fact that he took out a full page ad in the Wall Street Journal to apologize for all of the, and I'm just going to call it what is the bullshit that he has spewed for the last decade or more, dating back to like his time with Adidas. He says, remember he printed a T-shirt with a swastika on it.
Yeah.
He said it was due to an undiagnosed brain injury from a 2002 car accident where he broke his jaw. Now we've heard about this before
through the wire
because it has affected the way he's spoken. When you break your jaw, it's actually pretty severe. He said at the time, the focus was on the visible damage, the fracture, the swelling, the immediate physical trauma. The deeper injury was the one inside my skull that went unnoticed. The medical oversight caused serious damage to my mental health and led to my bipolar type 1 diagnosis. The scariest thing about this disorder is how persuasive it is when it tells you you don't need help. It makes you blind, but convinces you you've got insight. You feel powerful, you feel certain, and you feel unstoppable. In that fractured state, I gravitated towards the most destructive symbol I could find, the swastika, and even sold it on T-shirts. One of the difficult aspects of having bipolar type 1 is the disconnected moments, many of which I still cannot recall, that led to poor judgment, reckless behavior, and oftentimes an out-of-body experience. I'm deeply regretful and mortified by my actions in that state, and I'm committed to accountability, treatment, and meaningful change. It does not excuse what I did, though. I am not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. I love Jewish people. I find my new baseline and new center through an effective regime of medication, therapy, exercise, and clean living. I have newfound much-needed clarity. I am pouring my energy into positive meaning, music, art, clothing, design, and other ideas to help me reach the world. I'm not asking for sympathy or a free pass, though I aspire to earn your forgiveness. I write today simply to ask for your patience and understanding as I find my way home. What do we think?
It has everything I wanted to hear, but I'm still very skeptical. If that's fair to say. And I think that true accountability and true repair comes through consistency and time. I am always open to hearing, somebody's amends, especially to all of the communities and all of the people in which he hurt. And I think that hopefully those communities and people are open to it too. But I think that it takes just as much time to put out a apology Wall Street spread as it does a hateful one. So hopefully this will stick, because the damage in which he had stuck for a while. I have friends, that are diagnosed with bipolar 1 and 2, and it all of these things are absolutely accurate. Do I believe that he had a brain injury? Yes. Do I believe that he was off his medication for being bipolar? Yes. Do I think he's sorry? Yes. Do I want to see this stay for a while? I would love to. I'll believe it when I see it, if I'll put it that way. Yeah.
Steph, what do you think? What's your initial reaction?
I'm really glad this is happening for him and that this didn't kind of have a tragic ending, because I was really scared that something was going to happen to him and the worst that could happen. But I'm glad that seems like he's finding himself and going to therapy and taking medications he needs, because he was on a terrible path. And I hope this really helps him for himself and his family and his children, because even
his kids,
for his children, you don't want to see them growing up with their father who is just losing it. So I really hope that he can actually turn himself around
and accept the help that he needs to turn himself around, because that's the thing. He's sick and he was really unwell. And at some points, Adam, I remember even when we were doing the Virgin Morning Show, there were some points where we're we can't, this is because every day he was making headlines for something absurd. And it was really, really dark. And at some point, you're are we giving another platform to somebody who's really unwell and who doesn't know what they're saying? Right. So it's walking this line of being you are saying these things, you need to be accountable. And also this is somebody who's incredibly unwell, just has a lot of money and power. Right. So it's you walk this fine line. So hopefully he will, he will continue with the treatment he needs. I don't know, Adam, what do you think?
Well, so the first thing that strikes me is the amount of people that profited off this. It was pretty clear that he had something going wrong, right? Like it was very clear that there was mental illness there. But as anybody will tell you, you have to take responsibility for that, even though it's a tough burden to bear, right? When you have it, you have to take responsibility for it. And you can have people who are mentally ill that are good people that step out of what their normal circumstance would be and in the way they treat people. And you can also have mentally ill people that are assholes. And that and what I appreciated about this statement is he says that does not excuse my behavior.
I know. Yeah.
A lot of people who are like, I acknowledge that I have mental health problems and therefore you should feel bad for me. Yeah. He's not asking for that, at least in this statement. And I appreciate that because, lost in, and I think a lot of the conversation a few years ago when this was really at the forefront, especially in the pandemic, was, well, I've got mental health problems and I've struggled through this and people were being open about it and that's good. But then I think it jumped the shark a little bit where it was like, well, I can treat you like this because I have these issues. And it's actually, no, you can't. That's the point. You're supposed to seek treatment and you can't use therapy language to treat people like shit.
Yeah, no.
There's a difference between setting a boundary and attacking someone.
Absolutely. And diagnose other people to excuse your own diagnoses. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. I do have to say, like, okay, the one thing that I was very conscious of when I was reading the apology earlier, because like when it comes to amends or like any sort of actual sorries, when you're saying sorry and you mean it, you're saying it for the other person, not for yourself. You're not relieving yourself of guilt. You're not relieving yourself of accountability. You're not relieving yourself of the burden of what you've done. When you're saying sorry and you're actually meaning it, it is for the other person or the person that you've hurt or the damage that you've caused. And I could feel that none of that was to get it off of his own plate. He was truly saying it. It's all the language for the other person. This doesn't excuse me. I'm sorry for the damage. I'm sorry for the hurt, the pain, etc. None of it's like, will you forgive me? It's not looking for you don't feel like he's looking for relief in that. He's just looking to start a conversation about saying sorry, which I did like.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think, Jax, when you said at the beginning of this conversation, I liked what I saw. I'm paraphrasing you here. I liked that he did it, but I'm still cautious. That's how I think most people should feel here.
Yes, yes.
What I think is, like, I'll be honest with you. I love Kanye West's music. I've loved it forever. I've seen a couple of his concerts. I saw him and Kendrick Lamar on the same damn tour. Like, it was amazing. And he is brilliant, truly brilliant. But I think when he was going through these episodes that that happen, there was a lot of people in there who were like, "Yeah, but he's a genius, and you wouldn't understand." And I remember thinking, "I understand perfectly, and you guys are a-holes for allowing it to happen." Right?
Yeah.
It's his fans, it's his hangers-on. He has so much money. There's always going to be like an entourage or whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is that the entourage, the group of people around him, has changed. I know Bianca Censori, his wife, left him for a bit. And I wonder one day if we're going to get the story of how that may have affected this change, because she's still with him.
Yeah.
But, a lot of times when these things happen, you got to change the people around you.
Oh, yes.
You're on a dark path. They don't have your best interests at heart. And so what I hope is this is the start of Kanye getting back to doing what he does best, which is making great music. But also, you do have to put in work, and it's got to be more than just therapy. You're a public figure. You got to go out and be a part of events, show contrition, right? And I think this is a start. It might even be a good start. But please, I feel like, please don't fool me again. Do you know what I mean?
No, and don't give us this, because like there's some hope in there. It's a very dark political time too, right? So it's like hearing from somebody who is usually not on the right side of things being like, hey, I'm sorry, like giving a little bit of glimmer of hope. And I also, it is obviously not the same, but I keep on, kind of like bringing it back to sobriety and bringing it back to AA. But like there's a reason that when you get sober in whatever program, you don't do amends right away. They say to wait, right? Because you're going to go in there, you're going to say, sorry. They say, wait in your first year, even your second year. Like I'm, 6 years in and I'm still making amends, because it's like people that I've hurt need to see time, right? Like they need to see consistency. They're like, cool, you haven't drank for a month, and now you're saying sorry. But what if you go back, and it's like, it's with Kanye. It's like, there's a lot of damage. So like maybe if they see him consistent for a year or 2, 3, 4, 5, like that's when the actual healing kind of starts. And I hope that this is the start of something new. I really do.
It'd be nice. And so, you always root for people to get better.
Yeah.
Forgive everybody. Well, don't forgive it. I don't think any forgiveness is necessary. I think healthy skepticism here is important. But I'm rooting for him. I want him to succeed. I want this to be a better place. And we've said it on the show a million times, guys, especially lately. Like, it's so crazy. We started this show. We want to be bright and fun and happy every week. We know what's going on politically. We know what happened in Minnesota this weekend. Mm-hmm. And we try to be an escape from that, because if you want real conversation on that, there are 8 million podcasts and radio shows and TV shows you can get it from, right?
Yeah.
But we also need to have this show be bright and fun and have an awareness of that. And what we keep saying is the bad guys feel like they're winning.
Yeah.
And for me, this is a one brief little opening in the clouds.
Yeah.
Little sunshine going through, going, okay, maybe there's hope.
And that's the thing, is like, if there was a good time for Kanye to go extra mega, it's right now. And the fact that he's going opposite, I'm like, what? Could that be the sun parting through the clouds? What is, like it's this, part of me was like, is this some sort of press like move for something new? And I've been hurt so many times, but we have room for forgiveness and hope on the show. Just a little bit,